There you go. Thank you. Thank you. What? Shalom, Israel. This is Officer Qadash. How about Shem Yahushua all the brothers? Yahushua Alathah Ba'Shem Yahushua all the sisters. We're going to get some sound on this here. And this is I.S.U.P.K. Start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up and are indeed the 12th tribe of Israel. We started off in 1969. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. If you're not under I.S.U.P.K, Commanding General YAHANNA, you're not under the truth. Might as well get a flyer, go on the line, www.isupk.com, and get into class. Like some of our other people, got Adrian coming in, we got Shar, called to walk. Sounds good, thank you, brother. Barak, Baralabah, we have Kapah, Ban Yahawada, some of the sisters, Adrian. Let me see here. Glad you guys can check in on class. On time here. And what we're going to talk about is some of the 18 nations, of course. We'll go into Ezra 10 and 11, who we'll talk about a little bit and say, the Lord says, separate. Just put a little sentence here. Separate from these heathens. They don't mean us any well, any good anyway. To separate from them. You know, from let's go into it. In Ezra 10 and 11. It's just many texts and many verses revolved around telling us to separate from them. That's what we should be. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should not be a part of these heathens. We should not be a part of anybody except for the I.S.U.P.K and Commander General YAHANNA and the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's what the Bible tells us to do. Be part of your own people. You know, separate. We have Kapah Bana. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, we have her. Kapah Bana. All right. Separate from these heathens, you know. Be a part of understanding that you can separate. So let's turn to Ezra, if you have it at home. Ezra 10 and 9. I'm sorry, Ezra 10 and 11. Now there in Ezra 10 and 11, we'll give you guys a few seconds to find it. Ezra. Give you guys a chance to find it all. Okay. Well, anyway, hope that you have it. If you're ready, we'll read. We have, now therefore make confession unto the Lord, the Most High, Yahweh, to your fathers, and do his pleasure. Now it's his pleasure. That's what he's saying. To separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives. So that's what we'll use. We'll go off this verse. Separate yourself. We shouldn't be involved with strange wives anyway, my brothers. You know, get away from your own nation. And we'll put up here these nations that whom we should separate, and we'll spell them out in Hebrew, and we'll run class like that. But anyway, let's start with the first sentence here. Let's go with, this is just a little excerpt from there, from Ezra 10 and 11. And we'll say, what is that? That's Ayabya, I'm sorry. Ayabya. We'll put it in black here. Ayabya. We want you guys to take notes as you're going in class. Ayabya. There you go. Ayabya. Okay? And that's heathen. It's like the heathen. That word means heathen or enemy. And of course, we're going to say Ayab-Yah. We're going to say, instead of just one enemy, we're going to say Ayab-Yam. We're going to make it plural. So let's say Y-A-M. Let's make this, that means many enemies. We got all kinds of nations against us. That's why you should separate from the Most High saying. You know, don't be part of them. You know, get away. That's what Ezra 10 and 11. We'll read it again here. Separate. Badalka. Mayan, call, Ayabyan. See, that's Badalka, that ka on the end there, that's a possessive adjective saying we, you all, us. Badalka, Mayan, call, Ayabyan. That means plural. Let's get it straight here. That's plural. That's many enemies. And we'll put them on the board here in a second. But we're going to write the Hebrew, the Paleo, the Hebrew for them in a second here. But let's read it again, so we'll see the significance of why we need to separate. Why we need to separate from these nations. Let's read it again. Ezra, get your Bibles out. 10 and 11. Now therefore make confession unto the Most High, Yahweh, of your fathers, that's our forefathers, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land. You know, that's and Ezra basically was, let me write verse 10. Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, you have transgressed, and you have taken strange wives, and increased the trespass of Israel. Israel should be trespassing. One of the reasons because they're taking strange wives. This is the reason why the Most High warned you. He said, separate yourselves from the people of the separate yourselves from the people of the land, from the strange wives. Strange means they don't belong to Israel. That's what strange is. So you look around and say, who are these people? He don't want you to have strange children, so you can have strange wives. So separate yourselves. That's what we should be doing as a nation, as a people, as a people who understand the Most High. Move this, make a little adjustment here. Move it back just a little bit. Okay. Okay. For the people who are part of the Most High, if you are black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Now we're not talking about that illegal immigrant over there who calls themselves in Israel right now, calls himself a Jew, perpetrating a Jew in Israel till now. Let's get it. Let's get Israel. Let's get the fake Jews over there in Revelation. To it now. Let's find out. Let's turn to, I believe it's, let's find out where it is. Let's see. Oh, okay. Wait a minute here. Let's turn to Revelation, I believe it's 2 and 9. Yeah, there you go. Revelation 2 and 9. Let's talk about these strange Jews that's perpetrating themselves as us. Edomites, you know. Let's find out what the Most High says. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy. He says I know thy works, thy tribulation and thy poverty. That's us. He know that we're poverty stricken. He said, but thou art rich, because we are the 12th tribe of Israel. And I know the blasphemy. He's talking about the blasphemy now of those people that say they are Jews. We're the real Judah. I'm from the tribe of Judah. So we're the Jews. These people say that they're Jews and are not, but they're the synagogue of Satan. That's one problem right there. So that's why Ezra said, listen, you need to separate yourself from these heathens, from these people out here, from these Ayabians, enemies. Most High don't want you to be with them, so you won't have these strange wives. Got Michelle Gamble coming online here. Michelle. Coming in, the sisters coming in strong, the brothers coming in strong. Okay? And of course, I try to tell the class to fit people just starting and people that's been in a while, been here for a while. Okay. And well, let's separate. Let's see. Let's find out. Separate badalka. Let's find out how to write that word in Hebrew. Okay, we'll do it in Paleo and Assyrian. Let's see if we got room for this. Blue and red. I try to use different colors here. Let's do it in Paleo first, in red. Badalka. B. It's right here. Ba. Dal. Ka. Just like that. Badalka. So we're going to say and like this. Ba. Like that. That's a B. In Hebrew, we'll put it over here. We'll look on the board. If you can look on the board, I have the Hebrew characters already spelled out for you right here. That's that B right there. Ba. Zoom in on it. Ba. Then we say da. We say da. And of course, remember what we talked about last time. The paleo has connectors, so we're going to put connectors so we'll see how this word sounds. Ba, dal, and then of course we have a ka. You know, we have two different types of ka, so we have to make sure we understand which one we're using. And this will be right here. Just like that. Okay, that's how it looks in Paleo Hebrew. Badalka. You see that in the Tanakh? You know, sometimes we read the Tanakh on Sabbath. Sometimes you guys can follow us. That's how you learn it. Of course, that's the Bible. Got Brother Trey Davis over here on the Trey Davis. All right, Trey Davis in the house from Greenville. How you doing, brother? How about Shem Yahushua to all my brothers? Yahushua Ba'Shem Yahushua to all my sisters. Coming in strong in the South Carolina Lashawan Qadash class. Okay, Badalka. All right. Well, let's put some connectors on this. Last time we did a little experiment to see if we can do it, but we'll wait a little bit, and we'll get you into helping me out. Class participation on that in a second here. But we're going to have ba, independent connector. An independent connector in Hebrew looks like an upside down U, just like this. Just like that. Okay? It means that character, what it really means, it literally translates this. That character can stand on its own in sound. We have Aban Kara, Officer 500, Aban Kara. Aban, glad to have you, brother. My Adawan. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Adawan. And then, let's see. Yeah, we got, okay, good. Well, like the sisters beefing it up in here. And then we have, that is called a independent connector. Why? Because it has its own independent sound. That's the easy way to understand Hebrew. Ba by itself. And then all these sounds here can have an independent sound. Depends on how the word is. Okay, then we have dal. We've got one here. let's make some space here. I forgot an L here. Sorry. Da, and then we have la. Okay. Then we have this. Slakia. There we go. Okay. Badalka. There we go. That's better. It's much better. All right. Sometimes I catch myself, sometimes I don't. Just be patient with me. Anyway. Ba. Now, in this sound, I want you guys to type in the chat. Adrian, sister, okay, good. Well, I want you to type in the chat for me on Badalka. This D and the Da and the La. What connector will we have? Independent or dependent? Type a 1 in the chat if it's dependent. Type a 2 if it's independent. I'm sorry. If it's independent, type a 1. If it's dependent, type of 2. What will we have for this part of the word right here? Dal. Because that'll be right in there. Badal-ka. Badal-ka. What will I have? Independent or dependent? Type in the chat. We'll go ahead and get that experiment out real quick here. See if you guys were paying attention last week. Because if you're paying attention, you'll pick that up. If you don't worry about it. And then, in other words, type in the chat. In connectors, in the paleo only, the Syrian has something else going on here. Badal-ka. Adrian puts a 2. She puts dependent. Okay. We'll give you guys a few more seconds to put your understanding of what you think it is. Is it a 1 or 2? In other words, it's going to involve those 2 characters. So what should I put? An independent or dependent connector? If you understand it, put it in there real quick. Give you guys got 10 more seconds here to understand it a little better. Okay. All right. Michelle puts a 2. Very good. Very good. Okay, good. And then we'll go ahead and put it down. Anyone else want to guess? And they're both right. That is a dependent connector. Now, why is that a dependent connector? That's the whole point. So we won't be guessing. We'll say, well, why is that a dependent connector? It's a dependent connector because these 2 sounds, the da and the la, right here, da, okay, and the la, they depend on each other to make that sound dal. That's all you have to do. Or that's a big all you have to do, but that's how it's done. In other words, right there, the da up here and the la here make that sound. Dal, badal-ka. And all words are like that. Badal-ka, kana, kapa, banaf, got it right. So all you sisters, okay, barala, ba, all you guys got it right. That's exactly right. It's dependent. Why? Because they depend on each other. They depend on each other. Let's give them sisters, brothers, sisters. Y'all give yourself a hand clap right there. That lets me know you're understanding what's going on. That lets me know that I don't have to dwell on connectors tonight too much. All right. Now we got one more sound here. And I'll go ahead and give you that one. To Wab, Job, priest. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, now we have ka right here. That is a independent, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. That is a dependent right there. Independent right there. An independent connector. So let's analyze this word. Badal-ka means to separate. Ba-dal-ka. Independent. Dependent. Independent. So that's how we say it. Badal-ka. All right, let's get on to Mayana. Let's find out. Let's break that word down. Let's break it down. Let's break down how we do that. So far, so good. That means that everybody is paying attention in class, laying back with your beverage, enjoying yourself with your yayan or with your girl. I'll have you doing it on Friday night. Glad to hear from you, Officer Bond. Glad you're in the house. Officer 500 in the school. We have all our officers in here. They help teach us. Teach the officers of 50 what's going on. We have officers of 5,000. We have our camp leader. We have officers of 500 and officers of 1,000. We have some great Tawab, Akim, Ottawans here in class. Don't want to misstate nothing. But I learned all this from them. So all I'm saying to you, pay attention. Some of this will rub off on you guys. Just keep plugging it in. You know, keep your books right there. I write things down. Pay attention in class. All right, let's go. From, the word from is mayan. So let's see how we break that down. We'll break this one down in Assyrian. Let's break mayan. Let's break mayan down. Ma. Well, we're going to use up here in blue. We're going to use blue right up here, like I got a Assyrian. Ma. Right there. Looks like that. That's an M. So we're going to say ma. Okay. Then we're going to say ya. Okay. And then we're going to do something special here going on with this N. Remember we talked about ending connectors, ending characters, I'm sorry. Now that's an N. How many see that this has an N to it? This N is going to have a special connector. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. And then the next time I'll write it in green. Because that N, it'll look like this. Just like we have on the board, and I'll explain it to you. Like this. Like that. That's what it looks like. It's right there. In that M or N, sir, at the beginning. Let's see. Is that a M or N, sir, at the beginning? That's okay. Now let me. Very good. If you can't understand something, yeah, type it in. I'll make it plain. It's an M, sister. Right here. There you go. Mayan. Okay. Just want to make sure. If you guys can't understand that, let's make sure you type in. You say, "Let me know." That's an M, sister. Kapabana. It's an M. And of course the ending is an N. Okay? Let me know that you've understand that, son. Put con in there, con, sir, if you did understand. That's Mayan. 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 And of course we have call, the water, sir. Yeah, there you go. All right, sister. And then we have, at the end of this, what did I do with the board? Here you go. At the end, when you have an N for the N connectors in Assyrian only, it's going to look like, the N will look like this. Just like that. See, you see all these N's right here? There's one, there's one, there's one. It look like that green one there for na. So it's bayan, na. And that's why we do it. Because our language is easier understood if we understand it. So we gotta make sure it's ma-yan. Okay? Then we'll go back to paleo on call. That just simply means all. That's all it means. Like sometimes you say call to wab, you mean all good, you know. Or for sisters it'd be call to wab ya. To wab wab. Okay. So call will be like K-A, it'll be K. It's ka. Okay. It'd be a ka like this. Like that. And then of course it'll be la. Right there. Oops. Yeah, we're using Assyrian. I'm sorry, we're using paleo. We're back to the paleo now. Put the little dots so you can see the difference there. Back to the page. And remember, Hebrew always write from right to left, so don't misunderstand that. So it's ka, call. So in here, we're going back to the paleo, which involves connectors. We're going to do this. We're going to make it a dependent connector. All right, let's go to heathen. We'll give you another test here. Let's go to heathen. A-yab, yam. Remember, it's the word is actually a yab yab. Yeah, yab yab. But I'm making it plural. I'm making it a lot of enemies. It ain't just one of them. There's a lot of them. You know, it's a lot of them. So let's go. Let's do that in Assyrian. Let's see. I need some blue here. Real quick before I move on. Let's do that in Assyrian. So we're going to say ah. Got enough room here. Ah. Ah. Then we're going to say ya. Ya. There, a little better there. Something like that. A ya. And then we got to put a B there for ba. It'll look like this. Oh God, Lord, I'm going backwards. Let's start over here. I'm trying to get some room here. There we go. Ah. Okay. Ya. That's right here. Don't break the rule. Got to write it backwards. And remember now, when you're doing a ya, make sure you keep it up in the air, just like that. That one. A ya. Let's put a B on the end. A B next to it, I'm sorry. So we'll captivate that sound. So as if, and we'll write down the opposite of what they are in a second here. Paleo or Assyrian. A yab. Then we're going to write ya. We're going to write ya again. Okay. Now remember that special connector right there. There's a special character that goes on the end. It'll look like this. We'll go ahead and give it to you, and we'll pick it up on. We'll do a little bit more understanding here later. Okay. You want to use this right here. A yab yum. So it's a yab yum. Like that. And on that one, for the sake of learning, at the end, that M, it'll look like this. See, that's the M. That's the M for Assyrian right there. But on this M, it would be the ending character because the M occurs at the end of the word. A yab-yam, heathen, or enemy. So you have to use that character right there. Okay? So, and we'll go over this all the time. Okay, I think you guys got enough understanding of that. Real quick here. We'll move on, give you guys a chance to write that down. Then we're going to move on to the nations. We're going to move on to the 18 nations that dare to put themselves, beat us up, and as directed by this Esau devil, and that Revelation 2 and 9 talk about. Want to make sure that we let you know what these nations are, so when you read them, you'll understand them. Okay? So separate yourself from all the heathen. You know, that's what the Lord says. He says, separate yourself in Ezra 10 and 11. Don't be part of these strange wives. Separate. So I thought I'd bring that out in class. Let's go to some of these 18 nations. We've got to give you guys a few more seconds to write that down. If you have any questions, type it in the chat. Give you a few more questions here. A few more time to write that down. Let's go to the nations here. We'll get on that. Okay, we'll get to some of these nations. that the Lord wants to be separate, the Most High wants to be separate from. That's the main thing. Of course, there again, now I typed this out. This is Paleo here. That's Paleo. That's Paleo Hebrew. This was Assyrian. Right there. This was Paleo. And this was Assyrian. I kind of mixed it up a little bit so we get a little bit, because of time, we don't have time to go and put all of the translations on there, okay? So I'm sure by now you guys written that down, wrote it in your notes. So let's just go ahead and erase it here real quick. Okay? And we'll get into the nations who you should be separated from. Some people don't know, you know. Some people, you know, if you ain't black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you really don't need to be involved in yourself. I know you got to do business in life, because I have to do business. I'm just being honest. I have to do business with the heathen. Got to. You know, we slaves, we in captivity. But you definitely ain't got to hang out with them. You ain't got to do all that. That's right, officer. That's right, Op. That's right, sir. That's right. Damn right. You ain't got to be part of them. You don't. As a matter of fact, it behooves you not to be. So let's talk about what Ezra saw. Let's talk about the nations in which the Most High was talking about. Let's go into it. We'll try to get through them in class here. These are 18 nations. All right, 18 nations. Let's find out a little bit about this 18 nations here. Okay? $18 nations. Okay. The 18 nations. We'll put the. And that word is translated. Well, let's see if we can get a box going on here so we can try to delineate all this. Let's see what we got. Some 1, 2, and we'll put 3. See if we got enough room here. I think we'll have enough room to write them down in there. Okay, let's give you the first one here. The 18 nations is known today. We'll put it up here, and of course we'll erase as we go. And I'll kind of like the 18 nations, what their name is today, what they're known as today. Okay? Then we'll have their biblical names. We'll write down their biblical names, okay? The biblical names. Biblical name. Okay? Then we'll write down we'll write down the Hebrew, or what they call them. Then we'll write down the translation. It'll be the Hebrew word for it. The Hebrew word for it. Then we'll have down, of course, we'll have down the translation of what that is. Or transliteration. Translation, I'm sorry. The actual translation of what these are. We'll do it with the first one. We'll go with India. What they call them. India. Of course, we'll do some erasing up here because we don't have enough room to go all the way down the board. India was called Elam, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? All right. Give you guys a chance to write that down. Put it in your notes. Elam. That's what it's called. And so it's I.S.U.P.K. Or in Hebrew, it would be called I.S.U.P.K. Okay? I.S.U.P.K. I'll extend this down some. All right? I.S.U.P.K. I.S.U.P.K. Now translation we'll put in, we'll use different translations here in Syrian and Hebrew. We'll go with the Paleo right now. And then if I have time, I'll write the Syrian by it. So Paleo, we're going to use I. We'll call it I, right to left, I. Then we'll have Yah. You look down here on your book. On the board, we have Yah. Yah. Okay? That's how you write an I in Hebrew. This right here, I, Yah, and then we have La over here, that L right there. And of course you have an M. You have to, don't forget this M right here, because you got to make that sound so it'll look like this. That's Hebrew for that word. We'll go ahead and write the Syrian. I think we got enough. We'll do both. We'll put the connectors on here in a second. And the Syrian, it will look like this. The I, you do the same thing. Right there, it'll look like let's see. I may have to get a little bit more room for this translation here. We'll go to right here. Like that, okay. There we go. I, then we have a Yah. Then of course we have the La sound, like that. Sort of like a 3, La. Then at the end of the word, we got to use that special character again. Look like this. Okay? There we go. The blue is going to represent a Syrian, as we have it up here. Paleo is going to represent them. Let's put the connectors on the Paleo. All right, follow me, guys. We're going to give you a little test here. Let's see. What kind of connectors we're going to have on I? Well, let's see. It's going to be I, like that. It's going to be an independent connector because it's an independent sound. Don't need anything else. What about Yalam? I-Yalam. What will I use on the next character? On the Yah. Type it in. It's going to be independent or dependent. Give me a 1 over here. Let's see, a 1 or 2. It's going to be independent or dependent. A 1 for independent, a 2 for dependent. For Yah. See if you guys paying attention here in class. For Yah. I said I gave the first one. That's independent. And the independent, of course, look like, let's write it up here again. Look like this. Like that. Independent will look like this. So what would I use? Y'all type it in chat. Type 1 or type 2 for Yah. For this one right here. This is what we're talking about right there. Is that going to be independent or dependent sound? Which one? Upside down or right side up? You. 1 for independent, 2 for independent. Which one? Give you guys a chance to write it down. Type it in the chat. A 1 or 2. I know you guys, Adrian has a 1. There you go. All right, let's see. Who else are the sisters? Kana, Michelle, and Kapa. Michelle Gamble, yeah. She has a 1 also. There you go, sister. Very good. Michelle. Waiting for Kana or any of the brothers if you want to put it into. Good job. All the priests. I know you guys know. The priests know. Trey Davis. You can also participate if you want to. If you want to, you know. Whoever wants to. That's what it's for. So if you feel comfortable, I appreciate you giving good back and forth typing in the chat so I'll know what's going on, you know. But on Yah, what do you use? Independent or dependent connector? So far we got 2 people. We'll give you 10 more seconds here. Then we'll move on. The word is India, Elam, I-Yalam. We're concentrating on Yah. Is that independent for the Yah? If you're going to use in paleo for the connectors or dependent? Which one? Independent or dependent? All right. All right. I assume that you guys got your answers in. We're going to go ahead and put what's under there. What Yah is. Okay. And the sisters got it right again. So we'll say Yah is an independent sound. That's why it's independent connected. Why wouldn't it be? That's how you know it's independent. Barala Papa's independent. That's right. She says independent. That's exactly right, sister. All 3 of your sisters so far, I'm sure all of you guys got it right. That's the whole point. And because Yah is independent sound. All right. Tell me, what are we going to do with the La and the Ma? What kind of connector would that be? The La, and then we'll say Ma. Ayalama, Ayalama, Ayalam. Which one? Ayalam. How I'm sounding it? What does it sound like? You can type a 1 in the chat for independent, a 2 in the chat, or you can write it out like Baralapa, Baralaba said, or 2. Okay. Type in the chat. What are we going to do with the rest of this word here? How are we going to pronounce that? Is it La and the Ma? What do we do? Is that independent connected or dependent connected? Which one are we going to use? Having a Tawab class so far, I appreciate it. What will we use? What are we going to use for that? What will we use? Which one? Which one we want to use? For La and the Ma, you got I-Yalam. Sister Adrian has a 2. That means it is dependent. It's dependent upon something. Okay, let's see. You could be right, you could be wrong. Let's find out. Let's see how confident you are, Sister Adrian. See if you stand by your answer. Stand by your answer, stand by your sound there. Let's see what you got, sister. See how much confidence you got right there. Is it dependent, or 1, or independent, or just type it in, like Barala Pa has done. Or Sister Michelle. I mean, you guys, if you're at home, I understand. If you're at your job, I understand that too. You know. With I.S.U.P.K. While you're doing that, with I.S.U.P.K, start off 1 West 125th Street, Hall in New York, where we teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up, and indeed, the 12 tribe of Israel. That's what we're writing about. We're writing about the nations that we should stay basically away from. Don't take strange wives for them. Don't marry them. That's what Ezra 10 and 11 talk about. Separate. Don't take strange wives. So that's what we're doing. We're writing these nations out. We're having fun with it. India, Elam, those Elamites, the people that you see with little red dots on the head, stuff like that. Bible says separate. You have to do business. I understand that. You know, you got to get your Indian food or whatever. I got that. But, you know, when you're talking about separation, in other words, you don't move them in with you, you know, or you don't take them as a wife, you don't do that. A strange wife. That's what the Most High is talking about. These are the strange, them women of these nations here. Of course, you don't do that. Okay? I know it's okay. We'll go ahead. Adrian said 2. All right? We've got to give you 10 more seconds here, and then we'll move on to the next one. We won't, we'll go through them a little faster here. I just want to stop on the first one to make sure you guys are with me here. Make sure you guys understand me. Okay? Because we have to get, in other words, on the paleo, you have to get the connectors together to understand the Syrian. You have to understand the ending characters. But on the paleo, you have to understand the connectors that go along with it. They help you to pronounce and enunciate the word, of course. The Elamites. Okay, we'll go ahead and give it to you. We'll go ahead and we'll say that Adrian was right. It is a dependent connector. That sound right there is like that. Lam, ayalam. And of course, now we can't always assume that all I know, I don't have to type in the chat, I know. Some of these sounds can fool you. So, India, all right? Let's go to the next one here. We'll use a different color on this one. Good job. When you guys writing them down there, good job, okay? We use Assyria. 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 Okay? They're known today as Assyrians. Back then, the Bible would call them Ashur. Not our tribe, Ashur. They're not us. Not Asher, but Ashur. Make a big difference. It's Ashur. Okay? Ashur. War. Okay? Ashur. All right? Ashur. And it goes in the paleo is Shah. Then we have war. Wa, the wa sound. Sock it. Wa, be like this. Okay? Then we'll have to put something else up there. We'll make it like that. It'll be like this. Okay? Ashur. That's right. Yeah. All right. Ashur. Okay? So basically we're going to say independent sound, so it gets an independent connector. We say Shah, even though it looks like a word, 2 words, but it's actually 1 word. If you look on the board right here, so you guys won't miss, some of you guys already know, but bear with me. See Shah right there? That's how Officer Shah spells his name, only he puts an R on the end. So it'll be that and that. But in any case, we're talking that Shah, that one little W looking character there, is Shah. So Shah, by itself, it's not a SH and an A. It has its own sound. And that will fool you if you're not careful. So it's an independent connector. But if you know the Hebrew and you're concentrating on the Hebrew, it's an independent connector. And the war, we'll go ahead and do this one for you. Wa. Well, the wa sound is right here. Wa, and then the R goes together, makes war. Ashawar. Right here. So you have independent, independent, and then dependent. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Yeah, that's right. Slide. There you go. That's how it looks. Okay, you guys have any questions, type in the chat. All right, then we'll go ahead and write the the Assyrian for that, Ashawar. So we'll say Ah, like this, Ah, okay? And we'll say Shah. We'll have right here. It looks almost like the other one. Here, only it's a little more funkier. It's like more chicken scratch that we're writing through here. Because the language in our captivity, our forefathers in captivity, we were in captivity, and what happened was they took our sounds and put different characters, and that's what these characters look like in Assyrian. And what you see in blue, and of course green here, is what the characters came to look like. 22 sounds, and they just put their own with it. As you can tell, that sound there and this sound there, the Shah, they look just alike. Just look a little bit more like just a fancier W, really. So that's how it's done. And of course, over here, what am I doing? Okay. Then we have Wa, like a little stick with a little stem, right here, Wa. Then of course we have the Ra, right here. Okay. And if you notice, the Ra on the end there doesn't have a ending character, because the board on our characters, the Ra doesn't have an independent character, so you wouldn't put it there. Just so you'll know, trying to do these over and over again so you guys know, just so you know what I'm talking about is right here. The Ra. The Ra. You don't see any green character. And if you see something on there that's green, that's because that character has an independent sound. I mean, a end of the sentence sound. This one doesn't. This one doesn't have an end of the sentence sound. It's just Ra by itself with nothing special. They sound the same, but just spelled different. In this case, Ra, the R never has one. Only the Ka, the Ma, the Na, the Pa, and the Taza has an ending sound like that, okay? All right, we got that done. Let's move on to the next one. We're gonna do Syria. Now Assyria basically is where, hold on to Assyria. The Assyrians, like I said, in captivity, those are the ones, the Assyrians, where they put us in captivity, That's why I write them on the board, so you'll have an understanding, just in case you have an understanding who to separate from. So far, the Indians, don't deal with them. The Syrians, that's those people in Assyria, as we know today. And of course, it'd be like well, I don't want to get into that. Let's use Syria. Syria. Now, Assyria and Syria, two different people, but they all off limits for us. And that's Aram. Aram. Not Aaron, but Aram. Okay? Oh. All right? And you spell it Aram. just like this. Aram. Okay? That's just another nation. Those Syrians over there, that they're having fights over there right now, and Syria is a little bit like what east of Jerusalem or Israel, right in that area. You know, those are Syrians. You know, Syria would have been like Babylon and all of those places, Iran and Iraq. But Syria is a little nation right there, sort of northeast, or you know, maybe due east, but I'll say northeast of Israel, Syria. They're still, you call it Aram, and they still off limits, no matter how you look at it, no matter how these are all nations that are not supposed to be with us as far as joining, okay? Oh, I should have written some room there. Okay, so we'll say, we'll erase these off the board in a second. We'll go with the paleo. We say like this. See if I can do a line here, like that. There we go. Yeah. Okay, something like that. Okay, so we'll say Guys, if to make yourself really learn this at home, just grab a piece of paper and just kind of write it out. Try to write it out. You can make mistakes at home all you want. It doesn't matter. And if you have these characters here, it'll correct it for you. That's why I wrote them up there. It's like the chart. I just put them on my board right there. Okay, so we have then we have Ra right here. Then we have Aram. Okay, let's see if we can do the connectors on this one, guys. Let's see if you guys still got some connecting power here. This is paleo in red. We're always doing the paleo in red. From now on, if I can help it, if I can think about it. Let's get some paleo going here. Aram. Let's see if we can get the connectors on and Ram. What would we use for the It's got an A and H right there. Right there. And what would we use for that one and that characters? Let's see what we're going to use. Well, let's put in the chat. For the is going to be independent. Because we'll erase off the board here in a second. We're going to put independent. Is it of that one or dependent? Like that. Is it one or two? For the we're talking about this one. Then we'll get to the Ra and the Ma in a second here. I'll put an arrow. Adrian put a 2. No, okay, no, that's another time. I'm sorry, it's Lock Adrian. Michelle, Adrian, Brother Trey Davis, all the brothers and the sisters, Baral of Michelle Gambrill. Y'all put down what you think it is. When you say Aram, so Syria, Aram, the more you do these, the more you do them and do them by yourself, with me correcting you here in class, the better you'll know them. You have a better job. Adrian puts a 1, okay. Going to be independent or dependent. So we'll give another sister a chance to put it, or another brother to put a chance to put it in there, to put their understanding on the board in the chat. Now, I.S.U.P.K. is good to chat in class. That way we know. Guys, give you 10 more seconds right there to write your answer in there. For is that independent or dependent connected for Paleo Hebrew? All right. And if you have your chart, it makes it easier for you. Because the more you do it, the better off you'll be. It makes it easier to do this because you have the charts in front of you here. And of course you see the sounds when I say Aram, Aram, Aram. What do you hear? Ah. Adrian has it right. She has an independent sound. Ah. That is all you need. So it'll look like this, like that. Okay? Like that. It's just that easy. Ah. Right there. Ah. A-H. Ah. Because you can spell the word out by knowing the characters and knowing how I pronounce on the board. Okay? Ram. What about the Ra? These two different sounds right here. What are we going to do with them? Aram. How am I sounding it? Ah, Ra, and the Ma. Bara Laba said Ah and Ram too. Okay, good. She puts down Bara Laba. That's very good. Let's see if, you put it all down on the board so I can see it for myself. She puts down that this one, this is what she put down. Let's see if she's right. She put down ah, and then she put down like that. Is that right? Somebody check it. See if it's right. What do you put down? She put down ah as independent, and she put the ra and the ma together. She chose to put them together. So that's what she's hearing. Ara, arama, aram, arama. Which one is it? Aram. So what do you put down? Is it a dependent sound or independent sound? So we'll give you guys a few more seconds to write down your answer. Baralama Banath has put down ah for the independent sound. Then she put down a dependent connector in paleo for the ra and the ma. Ra. So let's see. Give you guys 10 more seconds to do that, because this is good exercise here when we're writing the nations down, when we're spelling them out. Plus you're understanding what nations to lay off of. Sisters, you don't marry a man out of these nations. Brother, you don't take strange wives from India, Syria. I don't care how beautiful or how not beautiful. However she looks, you don't approach them in that way. If you got to do business, I understand that. You got to go to the grocery store, I understand that too. But you do not. I.S.U.P.K, we don't take strange wives. We stay the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians here in I.S.U.P.K. We're home of the truth. That's what we do. So we want to make sure we uphold. The Lord says separate. That's what we do. We do exactly that. We separate. Set yourself apart. Qadash. That means separate. Badalka. Separate. Badalka. Okay, we'll go ahead and do it. Baralababanath has it right. She said that Aram, and Sister Adrian has it right. Ah, and then here you have to tie these sounds together. Now, it seems like it's hard or it seems like it's easy. Doesn't matter which one it is. It's what will you use it? Will you make it hard or will you make it easy? That's the whole point. What is it? If you know it, it's easy. If you don't know it, it's hard. So, Aram, that's what it is. Okay? The nation of Syria. All right, we'll move on. We'll put the Arabs down. That's Ishmael, those Arabs that live over there in some of those countries down there, Dubai, the one that's got all Dubai and places like that has all the oil. Because all these countries got some oil, especially Syria. Israel, we ain't got nothing. Well, they're Arabs. Today they're known as the Arabs. Okay? We may get through all of them, I don't know. We might not. If we don't, we'll finish them off next week. We'll try. We'll move on to something else. Always try to have something different for class. And then that was Ishmael. When you see Ishmael in the Bible, now Ishmael, Ishmael. Had that. All right. Ishmael. Okay. I want you guys to type in the chat, who was Ishmael's daddy? Who was Yashama'allah? Ishmael. Lashawan. Make sure I get it right. Yashama'allah. That's right. Allah. Who was Israel's dad? Type it in the chat. You guys give you a chance. Who was Ishmael's dad? Who was his dad? Yashama'allah. Ishmael. Who was his daddy? It was the Arabs, the Arab nation there. You know, all those nations down there, I think it's like most of them like southeast of Iran and Iraq. Of course, Syria would have been Saddam Hussein and all those, and Syria would have been a little east of there. But the Arabs, all those people wear those little turbans and little long, little robes or whatever they have on there, sort of like Indian people too. Who was Ishmael dad? Who was his father? Who was his daddy in the Bible? Who was his dad? Type that in the chat. I'll wait for you guys. See if you're on point. Who's Ishmael's dad? Ishmael. He had a daddy. So who was his daddy? Go ahead and type that in chat, guys. Who was Ishmael's daddy? Okay? Who was Ishmael's dad? Who was his dad? Adrian put Abraham, okay? And Baralabah, she puts Abraham, and you're both right, exactly. If you go to the Bible, you'll find out in Genesis the 16th chapter, it says in Abram, well, it was Abram at that time, but it's just, it came Abraham, of course, was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. And of course, he became to be Abraham, father of many nations. That was his blessing. Abraham, exactly right. Abraham, that's exactly right. That's good. So that was his dad, okay? Now let's see how good you are. Who was Ishmael's brother? Who was his brother? Who was Ishmael's brother? Who was his brother? Who would have been his brother? Who would have been his brother? Well, make sure you guys know the difference between the Arabs and Ishmael and somebody else. Type it in the chat. Who is Ishmael's brother? That is Ishmael Yashama'allah. We'll write that down in Hebrew in a second here, as soon as we can. Who is Ishmael's brother? We won't finish up Aaron. We'll just write the paleo for Aaron. Who was Ishmael's brother? Type that in the chat, guys, if you know who that is. Who was his brother? Yeah. Adrian put down Isaac. Okay, let's give you 10 more seconds here to see if you guys can put that down in there. Ishmael brother, but you got 10 more seconds and make sure you guys concur. That's his brother. His brother. Okay. Well, that's correct answer. Baralabah, she has it right. Isaac, that's exactly right. You see that in Genesis 21:3. Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, who Sarah bare to him, Isaac. So Isaac and Ishmael, they're brothers. But of course, if you turn to the covenant wasn't made with Ishmael. The covenant was established through, let's find it, Genesis 17:21. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear to me the set time the next year. But the significant thing we're getting out here is Isaac is the correct spelling. Okay, it's spelled, Sister Adrian. Isaac is I-S-A-A-C, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Well, let me finish reading here, sister, and I'll get to you. But Genesis 17:21, but my covenant will I establish between Isaac. It's I-S-A-A-C. That's how you spell it. I-S-A-A-C. That's correct. Isaac. So Isaac is a covenant established through Isaac. And we came through Isaac, not Ishmael. Let's put a line. Let's put a little line through him just for the sake of putting it there. We didn't come through that rascal. Hagar, they kicked out of camp, gave him a little present and said, y'all go on, a little water, a little food, y'all go on. Isaac, that's who the children of Israel and who we are. That's why we should separate from Ishmael. There's a crazy man the Bible describes him as. Isaac and Ishmael. We are from Isaac, not Ishmael. Okay? So let's go ahead and finish up. Ishmael, I got him up here as a nation, and he has a nation of the Arabs. That's who we come from. But it is spelled right, Sister Adrian and Sister Barah. It's I-S-A-A-C, Isaac. That's correct. I-S-A-A-C. Yep. Okay? So let's go around here and let's put Yah. Let's put it in Paleo. Let's put it in Paleo. Then we gotta put it in Syrian, of course. Where's my? Oh, here it is, right here. We'll use Paleo first. Yah. Look like this. Yah, like a laid down Z, looking like that. Okay. Then it's gonna go Shah, like that. Then it's gonna go Amai. So that M will look like this. But there's something going on here. You got an O to go with it, right here. Okay? That's why you put this right here. That O is actually an I sound. My, Yasha, my. Then we have Allah, which means power. Or we have like this. Then we have La, like that. Yashai, my Allah, or Ishmael, Ishmael. Here's the Arabs. Yasha, my Allah. So we're going to put Yah, independent sound, independent connector. Shah, okay. Then, and let's see. We'll let you guys. Let's see, should we let you guys do that one? See how much time I got here. Yeah, we got some time. What do we use for these right here? These sounds. For the my, we'll concentrate on my right here. Yasha, my, Allah. Is that an independent or dependent connector? We'll give you guys a 1. Type in a 1 in the chat, or just type independent or independent. Type in a 1 in the chat. Is it independent or is it dependent? For Yasha, my, then we'll get to Allah in a second, but right now we'll concentrate on my. What would that be? So if you guys remember, Yasha, my, Allah. For the my, is that independent? Type of 1. If it's dependent, type of 2 for my. What would that be? Guys, give you a chance to write that down. Give you guys a chance to write that down in the chat for the my. Yeah. Give you guys a chance to write that down in the chat for my. For Yasha, my. How would you say my? Is that independent or dependent? Already said, Yah is independent. Shah is independent. Okay, Bara, Laba has Yah is 1, that's independent. Shah is 1, that's independent. She has my as a 2, that's dependent. And Allah as and then Allah. We'll see. I like your you're trying there. Let's see if she's right. We'll give somebody else a chance to type it in the chat what they think. Yasha ma'ala. So basically, let's see if the sister knows what she's talking about here. She said, Yah, Shah, my, and then she said, La. That's pretty much what she said. Anybody else? Let's see if she's right. Brave soul, Baralaba, Manaf, Manaf. Baralaba has it. Yah, independent. Shah, independent. She put the my as dependent. And the and the la as independence. Give you 10 more seconds. Write it down. What do you think? Give you guys a chance to write it down, see what you think. What do you guys think? Looks good, could be. Okay? We'll assume everybody has it up there. All right? This way. Let's put up here, let's correct it if it needs to be. Yah, she has the ma and the I sound together. That's correct. That's right. Because that's a ma. Ma is like M-A. And the I over here is, you have to join these together, but you don't, that sound is M-A, but you don't, in this case, we don't say my, we say my. So that means you bring them together. You drop the A out of the ma and just say, join the I and the A sound together, and you have my. And that's what this is. my, and then we have la. So she's correct. She's absolutely correct. Give that sister a hand, guys, for trying. She got it. She got it right. Give her a hand. Give her some claps. That's very good. Yasha, my Allah. We'll write the Syrian here in a second. Give her a hand there. Okay? So we'll write a Ya, then we'll write a Shah over here. Oops. Like this. Okay? Then we write a Ma, like this. Then we write a I sound right here. Then we write a sound, Then we write a L, a L looking thing there. Well, that's La. That's how that word looks. Let's see. See if it's right. Ya, Sha, Ma, I, Allah. Very good. Okay, good. Very good hand claps. That's how you work together for water. There you go, sister. Sister Adrian, there you go. I'm sure you guys got it right. Sister Michelle and all you guys, I'm sure you guys got it right. Brother Trey Davis. I'm sure you guys got it right. I know the officers have it right. And but if you want to participate in there, that's fine. You can ask, but I know the officers know. But his sisters are on it tonight. I'm telling you, boy. His sisters are on fire. That's good, Sister Aiden. So good, Baralaba. Good, Sister Michelle. Okay. All right. And of course, the Syrian, we wrote it out here. We spelled it out. Okay. Now let's see. We got some more time here. We'll do a few more in class here, and whether we get them all done right. I'd rather take my time and do them in the nations. But as a matter of fact, I'll say them just in case we don't get to them on the board. What these nations are that we should stay away from. Let's find out here. Let's find out what these nations are. Let's make sure we do it again. You got what we have? The Arabs. Those are the last ones. We have Chinese, Japanese, so-called white people, Esau, Israel, Ethiopians. We got Africans here, of course. Egyptians, North Africa, South Africans, French, Russia, Greek, Germany, Spain, and Italy. Of course, now let's move on to the Chinese here, because we're gonna have to erase something off the board here. Let's move to the Chinese. And of course, if we don't get it done today, we'll try to finish another day. But you guys get the point. That's the point. The point is, all these nations, if it's not black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, then you ain't got no business being part of them. Ezra 10 and 11 says, separate yourself and don't take no wives. There are other precepts, I'm sure, but I turned to that one. Separate yourselves from them. Don't take no strange wives of these heathens. Badalka, separate. Baldalka. Okay, separate from them. Why be part of it? Bible, the Most High don't want you to. He don't want you to confuse all that up. Those ain't our nations. We from Isaac, not Ishmael. India's not part of us. Syria's not part of us. Assyria's not part of us. So let's put down some more here. Let's put down some more. Got a few more minutes here. Chinese is Moab. Well, let's put it down. Let's put down who Chinese are. Call them Moabites. We fought against them all the time. Chinese in the Bible. Chinese. You see people in Chinese with them slant eyes, basically. You see them, they're Moab. Okay? All right? All right, when you see them, you're not supposed to be joined to them either. Mawa'aba. Mawa'aba. Okay? Mawa'aba. There we go. Mawa'aba. Very good. Of course, we'll translate that in a second here. We'll do a few more. Mawa'aba. All right. Talking about the 18 nations here that the Most High want us to be separated from. I thought I'd write them down so you guys can see them. We'll do as many as we can here. You know, we might be able to do 3 more here, so we'll write it down. Chinese, and of course we have the Japanese, with some more sort of funny looking people there that, you know, Japan. Oh Lord. Oh. Ammon. Japanese, just like that, and they're Ammon, A-M-M-O-N. Okay, Ammon. All right, and then we can't miss the so-called white people. Don't miss him. Let's give him some room here. Let's put him up here. I'll put him out a little bit out of order there. I'm sorry, that's lucky. So-called white people. The reason why I say so-called, because they're not white, they're red. So-called white people. Genesis 25 tells you that. They came out red, out of the womb. You know, they're not really white people. This board is white. This color right here, that's red. Some variation of red, pink, that's what the so-called white people are, you know. And of course, they came from many different nations, but we call them, in the Bible, Esau. We'll use the red color for him. Esau or Edom. Okay? Esau or Edom. Just like that. All right? And let's deal with them. Let's deal with let's get this Adawam. Okay? Esau cried bitterly, lost his birthright. He didn't want it anyway. That's what the Most High took it from him. He didn't deserve it. That would be Esau. Okay? All right, let's find out. Let's turn in the Bible where that is before we do it. Let's find out where that is. Let's see. Turn to Genesis 25 and 25. We'll find out where that is. Esau. Genesis 25, the 25th chapter, 25th verse talks about Esau. Yeah, let's find out. Genesis 25. 25. All right, we'll wait till you guys get it ready there. Genesis 25, 25. Okay. All right. Let's read it. Let's find out about these so-called white people who claim themselves to be white. Them the ones that we read about over there in Israel, calling themselves to be the Jews. They're fake Jews. They're not real. They're fakes. They're real fakes is what they are. All right, let's turn to it. Let's find out. Let's read a little bit about it here. And let's go up to verse 23. And the Lord, or the Most High, said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. 2 manner of people shall be separated Oh, see the Most High did separation, started separation right here. Separated from thy womb. Let's read this again. From thy bowels. Salakia. Verse 23, Genesis 25:23. Follow along with me. And the Most High said unto her, who was he talking about? Who was she talking about? Talking about Rebekah. See? Rebekah, that was Isaac's wife. The one we were talking about. Isaac. Not Ishmael, but Isaac. Said, Rebekah, look at here. Most High said unto her, 2 nations. That's what we're talking about. 2 nations. We're a nation by ourselves, the blacks, the Hispanics, the Native Indians. But this nation right here is going to be separated from your bowels. In other words, make sure that they're not the same nation as you. 2 nations are in thy womb. 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 2 manner of people. The Adarams, the Esau's, the Edom, so-called white people. Okay? From thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. We'll get into that a little later on. Okay? And then when her days were delivered, fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now, I know all the women know about twins in the womb. There were twins, okay? But they're separated, all right? The first came out red. Verse 25. All over like a hairy garment, and they called his name what? Esau. Right there. Came out red. So we're not, I.S.U.P.K, we have priests and prophets of the Most High. We know what we're talking about here. We pull the precept. We pull the scriptures. We pull them. You know, you wanna know? We pull them. Okay, he came out, and we'll get into that later about all of the other. But if you tune in here for the Sabbath class, we're going over Genesis. You'll see how Esau lost his birthright. We'll show you how all that plays out. All the Adarans, we read it in Hebrew, and we bring it out. We show you how he wept bitterly. You know, but you tune in. It's 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It depends on when it is. On Sabbath, tomorrow in the morning. We'll show you. We'll talk about Esau. But tune in to I.S.U.P.K, www.I.S.U.P.K. Tune in to one of our classes here, where we talk about this very thing right here going on in our class. But Esau, Adam, you know, he was red. That's why I put him in red right here. He ain't white as this board here, right there. Of course, he's red. So that's where he came from. The Most High says separate. Most High said separate from him. Don't be part. Separate from this heathen. That's what we started off in class by saying. Separate. Okay? Set yourself apart. All right? Separate. Badalka, separate. So let's get into it. Let's find out some, give you guys a chance to write that down. Then I go back to Moab here. We'll write it in Paleo. Then we'll write a da. Then we'll write a wa. Yeah, like that. Wa. Adawam. Then we got to put that in there, so it looks like this. Okay? And the connectors that go like this, we'll go ahead and give it to you because class is winding down here. Da, wam. So we have independent connector here, dependent connector here. I'm sorry, Salakia, start over. Independent connector for the A, independent connector for the D, that's and then we have a wa, and the ma sound has to be put together. That would be called a dependent connector. They depend on themselves to make a sound. Wam, that's how it's done. Okay? Adawam. Of course, we'll put it in, let's put it in Assyrian. Let's call it like this. Let's say A here in Assyrian, like that. That's what it looks like. And then we have a da. We have this da right here. That da looks like this. Okay, not too long there. About like that. That's how it looks in the Tanakh. Ah, da. Then we have a wa. A wa that looks like that. Like that. A little bit like that anyway. Then we have, what's going on at the end of this? That special character there will look like this. What we've been talking about all night. In Assyria, you have ending connectors, that's what we've been talking about. So it's going to look like this. Little square with a little stem right there. In other words, it'll look just like that. Where is it at? Okay, right here. See that right there? See that ma? You drop the A and use that one, not this one. Now in the paleo, you use this one at the end. But over here, because it's an ending sound or ending character, the M for the ma is designated to get an ending character. So you have ma right there, that green M. That's why I put it in green right here on the board. Color coded. Guys learn better when you color code things. Right there. Ma. Okay? Alright, and that's Esau. That's him. That's that rascal. Let's go ahead and do the Chinese up here. Ma wa aba. Because we got a little time left here. We got time to do at least these two. Let's see here. Yeah. Ma. Ma. Okay. So we'll say the ma sound just like that. In paleo, ma, then we got to say wa like this. Okay? Okay? Then we got to say ah, looks like this. Okay? Then we have to say ba, looks like this. Let's go ahead and put the connectors on them. So we'll say ma, wa, ah. So everything on there is an independent connector because it has an independent sound. Ma, wa, ah, ba. Mawa, abba. That's Moab. Chinese, slanted-eyed people over there, stay away from them. Don't take them as wives. Don't take sisters. Don't take them as husbands. Don't do that. Most High wants you to stay with the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's who He wants us to be with. That makes sense. We're more beautiful. We're better anyway. Our sisters are beautiful. They're Tawab. You know? Why would you? They're good looking. Why would you want to go anywhere else? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to not believe that? You know? Why would you stay with your own people, brother? Sisters? Why wouldn't you believe that they're beautiful? We're beautiful. See, that's what you want to understand. That's why you want to stay with your own people. We're beautiful. We know each other. So let's write that word down, beautiful. Let's write it down real quick. Beautiful. This is who we are. Beautiful. Let's see if I spelled that right. Beautiful. Sometimes I spell things wrong here. But let's see. We'll get it right. We'll get it right today here. Let's get it right. Beautiful. I think it's yapa, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it is. The word is spelled beautiful, and it's pronounced, for the word for beautiful in Hebrew is yah, pa. Like your daddy or your mama, yapa, like your pop. That means beautiful. So take a yapa rib. Beautiful yapa. Take that. I mean, we don't want to be part of these other nations and what they're doing. So make sure it's yapa. Yapa, beautiful. That's what that word means. Well, I knew I spelled that wrong. B-E-A, B-E-A, B-E-A. Okay. B-E-A-U. There we go. Like that. Sorry about that. Salakia. B-E-A-U. Yeah, there you go. Yapa. That's how you said that. We are Yapa. We're beautiful people, That's what that word is. So write that down in your notes. That's one of your vocabulary words. We done touched on a lot of things here today. And we got a few more. Let's finish off the translation to the Chinese here. We'll write in Assyrian. So we write a ma. It looks like this in blue. Ma, then we have wa, like this. Ma wa, then we have ah, like that. And of course we have a B sound. That looks like this. Just like that. Ma wa aba. Ma wa aba. That's Moab. Ma wa aba. Chinese people. Let's do Ammon. Let's see. Ammon. The Chinese people, they came from basically incest from their daddy, Lot. Moab, and that was with one of the older sisters, I think, and the younger sister was the Chinese, and maybe I'm backwards. But the Japanese and Chinese, that's why they sort of look alike, because Lot had sex with their own daughter. When he was drunk, they seduced him, and that's to the nations that came out, Chinese and Japanese. Weird as it may seem, that's what it is. Okay? That's why you don't want to be part of these nations right here. Most High didn't intend for us to have white people connections, Chinese connections, Japanese, Assyrians, Syrians, Indians. Didn't intend upon us to be a part of these people. He told us Badalka, separate. And that's what we're doing right now. Make sure. Badalka. Okay? So let's go ahead and write in Japanese. The Japanese people. Let me see here. I forgot. Let's see. Okay, there it is right there. Okay. All right, got them out of order here, so let's put them back in order. I want to jump on the white man real quick here when I get a chance. I'm a one. I'm a one. One. Okay? Those people are incest, both of these. So I'm a one. You don't want to mess around with them. And that looks like this. We'll do it now let's do it in paleo. We have time here. Let's see. Classes. We have I, then we have ma. That's the ma sound. Ma, I, ma, and then we have wa. Wa is right here. See? Right there. Then of course we have the na. You can't leave that out, so it'll look like this. So it'll look like this. It'll be the last one we do tonight. Won't finish them all. It'll be I, ma, then we have to join the wa. Have to join all this together and make one sound, which is one. I think we have a time. Yeah, we got a little bit of time here. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do the Assyrian on that. So it'll look like this. It'll be I, like that. And then it's be ma. Be a ma right here. Ma. Like that. Well, this Y should be down here like this. Sorry, it's like it. I, ma, then of course we have to have a wa. A wa is right here. And then, of course, at the end, you have some special character going on. Remember we talked about that? At the end is one of those characters. And that'll be the last thing we do in class here today. The end will look like that one. See that na right there? That's on the end of I'm a YAHANNA. Not that one. That would be your normal end there. But this is at the ending. Because it occurs at the ending, you have to put that little lazy looking 7 there, and it'll look just like this on the board here. Okay? It'll look like this. All right? And I hope you guys had a wonderful class here, drinking your yarn. If you did, if you had a good class, say, talk to me. Say excellent to wow, good. Let me know in your chat that you enjoyed class. As I read the announcements here, enjoy class. We missed a few of the nations, but I wrote them. We'll try to pick up on them next week. Let me know if you guys enjoyed class. Just let me know. Let me know if you enjoyed class. Type it in there. Type it in the chat. If you didn't enjoy class, just say, hey, look. This is what you need to improve on. If you enjoy a class, just say, hey, the wow, sir. Great class. Okay? Got a few minutes here, so we'll do the announcements as you type in the chat, telling me what type of class you enjoyed. The security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. Okay? Now here's a chance for you to get with your own nation. You got a particular interest in a brother or sister, get with your camp leader. Get from the permission from the head. That's the camp leader for all of these schools. Okay? I'll read that again. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. Okay? After 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. The tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 and 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. We'll get into number counting here a little later on. But I see some brothers and sisters here putting down and said it was a 2-hour class. I appreciate that. But it lets me know that you guys understood. I know some of you guys are on your job there. Okay? 10% of every penny of increase that the Most High gives you, give to Treasury Department or teacher. The priest fund, the free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory, but whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. Announce, let's turn to it. Well, it was the Passover, of course. The Passover got delayed there, but it would have been on the 14th day of the first month. Thursday, April 9th is when we postponed it, of course. It has been in New York. Commander General YAHANNA and all the generals are going to tell us what to do accordingly. Get with your camp leaders and some of your officers in school, sisters, if you need to, and brothers, if you need to know, get with your camp leaders. Of course, our upcoming congregation, we have the Day of Atonement, of course, in September, and so on and so forth. We have different later on, of course, later on in the year, we have Hakah, but not right now. But I'm saying to you, it was a Tawab class. We appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being in class. Appreciate your understanding and undivided attention. And for that, we say in Hebrew, peace or shalom. Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Tham. Yahweh Shema, Allah Thai, Hashem, Yahweh Shai to all the sisters.